Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mary, and I'm gonna talk about the audiolingual method. And first, we have to take into account that in the first half of the 20th century, the direct method was receiving a more effective it was a good approach, especially in Europe, because in Europe it was easier to go and practice the language that people were learning. So if you were from the United Kingdom and you were learning French, it was easier to go to French to start learning French. But in the case of the United States, it wasn't that easy. So it wasn't a method that has such a big impact on the society in that moment. But that finished on the start of the Second World War, or when the United States get involved into it. That was in December of 1941, especially. In that moment, the Allied army needed to understand the enemy's language and their allies' language. So, for example, they need to understand Germany and they need to understand Russian, so they can communicate with each other or understand what the other person was saying. So they have this method, my apologies about the cat, they have this method that was called the army method, in which they learn a language based upon learning structures that are easy to understand, or saying things that was easy to understand. So they can communicate effectively, but with simple words. They don't need to know the whole alphabet or the whole language, because it was just to understand a part of it and not all of them. So that was the army method that they used during those years of the war. But that method was such a good method that after the war was finished, the method was called the Audiolingual Method. It was a change of names because people saw that it was a method that it was so easy to implement and it was so effectively that it was easy, and they changed this method. The army method basically is characterized by a great or a large pronunciation of things or an oral activity, just to talk a lot, to start a conversation with somebody else. And specifically, they give this army, or the army in general, patterns of pronunciation and conversation practice, which was like the most important things for them. So keep that in mind. In 1950, this method was changed, as I told you, to the audiolingual method, and many schools in the United States decided to take this method as an opportunity to teach their students how to read, how to understand a new language, because it was easy and they don't have to take all the pronunciation that you have to take when you're learning a new language. You have to start from the beginning. So these are some of the characteristics we found, or I found, in this method. I hope you guys really understand that this topic, this method, and I hope you guys see in the next one. Bye!